greater numbers of immigrants and refugees are entering the Canadian workforce each year. As a result, demand is high for training initiatives that integrate language learning with workplace skills. In this screencast, you will be introduced to the Comparative Framework, a reference resource designed to support these very initiatives. Funded by Government of Canada's Adult Learning, Literacy, and Essential Skills program, the Comparative Framework brings together two national standards, the Canadian Language Benchmarks and the Essential Skills. Both of these resources are relevant to newcomers who want to develop skills for employment. Let's do a quick recap of each. The Canadian Language Benchmarks document describes the communicative ability of language learners in the 4 language skills. The document includes competencies and sample tasks that illustrate what people are able to do at each level. Many of the CLB tasks are workplace-related. Essential skills emerged from research conducted by the Canadian government. The essential skills are considered the foundational skills required at work, at home, and in the community. Essential skills research provides thousands of illustrative examples of the ways in which workers apply their skills on the job. The essential skills also provide a scale of task complexity. By bringing the CLB and the essential skills together, we gain a better understanding of the role employment-related tasks can have in the language learning experience. The Comparative Framework shows the relationship between CLB and essential skills and situates essential skills' extensive information about work demands within the context of language development. Essential skills and language practitioners can use the Comparative Framework to better understand the relationship between two scales that are both relevant when preparing individuals for success on the job. The Comparative Framework can help language practitioners identify employment-related content that can be brought into programming in meaningful ways. It can also be used to create learning materials, assessments, and programs for learners wishing to develop the language skills they will use at work. The CLB describes 4 skills, with 12 levels for each skill, and all of the skills relate to language or communicative ability. The essential skills include language and other foundational skills, with 4 or 5 levels for each skill. The Comparative Framework focuses on the 4 essential skills that relate to language. These are oral communication, which includes elements of both listening and speaking, reading and writing, both of these skills appear in the CLB, and document use, which includes elements of both reading and writing. The relationship between the 2 scales was established in a 2005 research study. The study involved individuals with expertise in Canadian language benchmarks or essential skills. The process involved having these experts use the CLB and essential skills scales they were familiar with to rate a variety of sample workplace tasks. Their responses were then analyzed by a measurement consultant to identify correspondences between skills and levels in the 2 frameworks. The original Comparative Framework was produced in 2005. It addressed the benchmarks associated with the essential skills levels, mainly CLB Stage 2 and Stage 3. In 2009, a second resource called the Essential Skills Primer was developed to address the lower language levels at CLB Stage 1. The primer included suggestions for activities that could help lower-level learners work towards developing the skills, strategies, and abilities required to eventually accomplish essential skills tasks. Norquest's Link Works project offered an opportunity to revisit the Comparative Framework and Essential Skills Primer to create one unified resource. The relationship of the levels has not changed, as the revised document is based on the original research. The new version of the Comparative Framework reflects the CLB document published in 2012. It addresses the complete Canadian Language Benchmark scale. It offers simplified visual displays with sample tasks, and it presents the relationship between the 2 scales in 3 ways. Thank you for watching this screencast introducing the Comparative Framework. There are 2 additional screencasts about the Comparative Framework. To better understand how the content is organized, you can watch How is the Comparative Framework Organized? For more information about how to use the resource, you can watch How can the Comparative Framework be used?